following is a hockey podcast out of Vancouver and Surrey, British Columbia. It'll only consist of a lot of puck talk and even more BS, or in actual words, banter and satire. Enjoy, and as always, go Canucks go.
Elias Pettersson is better than JT Miller. I can't believe I'm saying that, considering I was Bully Bhawan a couple weeks ago, okay? And JT Miller apparently is having dinner with some of the Canucks tonight in New York. Will Pettersson be there? We know the details, sort of. I'm Locked On Canucks.
You're Locked On Canucks, your daily podcast on the Vancouver Canucks, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey, happy Friday and welcome to another episode of Locked On Canucks. My name is Trevor Beggs, co-host of Locked On Canucks and also Canucks writer currently with Daily Hive Vancouver. Before we get into it, we got to thank you for tuning into Locked On Canucks, because it is your Canucks every damn day. It's the home of the West Coast bias, baby. And we're not here without you listening. And we're also not here without those sponsors. And today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new FanDuel customers can get $200 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. Nobody saw this coming months ago, okay? JT Miller being a member of the New York Rangers in 2025. But here we are. JT Miller has been on Broadway for about 7 weeks now. And it started good. It's not gone so good lately. And over here in Vancouver, Elias Pettersson is starting to heat up prior to this battle against the New York Rangers. So, JT Miller, what has been said recently about Elias Pettersson? What's going on with JT Miller and the Rangers? And can Pettersson and the Canucks keep this going in another must-win game against the New York Rangers on Saturday morning?
This is one of the biggest games of my life, too, man. 10 o'clock in the morning, going to watch it with my pops, going to be there for the post-game right after. This is intense, bro. This is it. The middleweight championship of the world, two mid-teams battling for the final playoff spot. And then you got the whole Pettersson and Miller thing. I had to cut you off, Trevor. I just had to, because it's intense. It's intense, and I'm just I'm going nuts right now, man. Am I cutting out here? Can you hear me?
I can hear you, yeah.
Okay, good, because I was cutting off of my headphones a bit. Okay, so tomorrow means a lot, because Trevor, can you do the math for us? Can you lay out our schedule for us? It's kind of, I'm not going to say it's mission impossible, because it certainly is mission possible, but the Canucks have a hard road to get to the playoffs, considering who they're playing and considering who the Blues are playing and how the Blues are playing. That being said, if Pettersson, who's been really good lately, and I know he's been invisible in a couple of periods over his last couple of games, but there's moments where he breaks through and does the most for the Canucks. Okay, so let's say he does that tomorrow against his arch nemesis, JT Miller. In my opinion, that unlocks him for the rest of the season. And if the Canucks have Quinn Hughes and Elias Pettersson playing like they're 90-plus overall, and Quinn Hughes, oh my God, bro, oh my God. He played his worst game of the season last year. It felt like that for the most part, but right at the end, like what he did in the neutral zone to tie up the game, unbelievable. Anyways, if him and Pettersson are playing at like 90 to 95 overall the rest of the way, and again, a lot of this momentum can be built in a win against JT Miller tomorrow, especially for Pettersson. If that's the case, then the Canucks, they can do it. Then they have two of the best players in hockey again. So again, this matchup against JT Miller is huge. It's huge for the momentum. You don't think Pettersson wants to kick JT Miller's ass tomorrow? You don't think he wants to one-up him? Like, we don't know what happened in the room and whatnot, but this could be the moment we've all been waiting for Elias Pettersson.
Well, and the moments have been more frequent, I'd say, over the past number of games. So in terms of the numbers, Elias Pettersson on his longest point streak of the season, he has points in each of his last 6 games, including 2 assists last night. He has 10 points in his last 8 games. And man, oh man, the tides have really turned. How the turntables, as Ricky would say, for the Canucks and JT Miller and the Rangers, because JT Miller was also off to a pretty scorching start with the Rangers while Pettersson and the Canucks were slumping. But now of late, Miller has not scored in 9 games. The Rangers have lost their last 3 games. They've been hitting the skids a bit here. Meanwhile, Pettersson and the Canucks heating up at the right time. And this is a massive matchup for both teams tomorrow, of course. The Vancouver Canucks, as we know, 1 point out of a playoff spot with a game in hand on the St. Louis Blues after the OT loss last night. And for the New York Rangers, they are currently 2 points out of a playoff spot, but they've actually played 2 more games than the team ahead of them, which is the Montreal Canadiens. So honestly, this is more of a must-win game for the Rangers and the Vancouver Canucks. But of course, we don't care about that here in Vancouver. It's all about the Vancouver Canucks. And Kyle, I'm curious to see what kind of performance we get from Elias Pettersson tomorrow, considering everything that's happened. And again, we will probably never know the full details of what happened unless someone in that dressing room, someone in that organization, writes a book or an expose about it. But, I did see this quote from JT Miller that I brought to the group chat, and I believe it's actually from his time with the Canucks. I think it was a bit of an older quote, but it's hard to feel that he's not talking about Pettersson here. So here's a quote from JT Miller. He says, talking about his competitive, he says, all about playing hard for yourself. Nothing feels better than when you string a bunch of wins together as a team and you leave your balls on the line and playing hard and cussing out yourself, having an FU match with a teammate. Like it happens. That's part of hockey. This game is a very sensitive place these days and turning into more of a self-aware ego style of game. Everyone is a good player nowadays. Everybody's skilled. You see the shit guys are trying on the ice. The game is very look at me game. I'll take the warts for being a competitive guy all day long. For me, it's the lost art to give a fuck. And that's the quote from
Trevor. Okay. Well, okay. You know what? There you go, man. Had to drop the real F-bomb, man. Had to do it, man. My kids are listening to this. Sorry, Locked On. Trevor was just reading. He's in love with reading, and he hasn't had all the cups of coffee to bleep it out. We're sorry.
Okay, let's get to the point here. Look, swear words aside, when he says stuff like the game is a very sensitive place these days and it's turning into more of a self-aware ego style of game, it feels like he's exactly talking about Elias Pettersson there, no?
Oh, God damn it, bro. Man, oh, man. Probably. I mean, again, yeah, probably. Speaking of which, let's get to this comment because it's making me think. This one's coming from Chuat, okay? And he's saying chew on this, okay? He's saying, I'm laughing at almost all other Canucks fans. 95% of you, including Beggsy and Bhawan, well, maybe more so Bhawan, gave up on Pettersson. I've always had his back. He's the most scrutinized Canuck of all time. Okay, hold up on that one. He's the most scrutinized Canuck over the last 13 or 14 months because he's been invisible for like 12 of those months. Okay, and then Matt's saying nobody gave up on PD. Okay, maybe Miller did. No, that's the truth. And Matt also says this as well, and that's why I think tomorrow's game is so important. And he said something about Pettersson has to carry this the rest of the way through. Like I don't really give an ish if this guy has 10 points in his last 8 games. Like what are you gonna do now till the end of the season? Because you bring up the Blues, you bring up the intensity, you bring up how tomorrow's a must-win game. Dude, all these games are must-win games because I honestly speaking, the way the Blues are playing, and they've done this in the past, and I know they're missing a lot of their pieces from that Cup run, but they still got Shen and they got Parayko. I know Parayko was hurt. They got Bennington. Like they've been able to go on a run before, and look at the way they played yesterday. They should have beat us like 5-1. They dominated us for the majority of that game. Like they're playing really good. Okay, so again, tomorrow is a must win, and I feel as if the Canucks need to go like 10-3 or 9-4 or 11-2 in the next 13 games just to squeak by the Blues, because I feel like they're not going to lose a lot of games, and so much of that is on the shoulders of Pettersson. And Trevor, correct me if I'm wrong, and let us know in the comments below. Like, could tomorrow be the Pettersson moment? Because I don't think it's a 2-assist third period yesterday. I don't think it's going bar down against Chicago. I don't even think it's going to shootout winner against Calgary, tying it up. I think it's tomorrow. I think it's like we need the 2-goal, 2-assist game. We need the explosion, and then we need him to guarantee that for the rest of the season, for the remaining 12 games after tomorrow, he's going to help Quinn Hughes carry this team into the playoffs. Because Trevor, who are we playing the rest of the way this season? Do we still got Dallas? Do we still got Vegas a couple times? Do we still got Winnipeg? Like, our schedule is messed up. And to get to like 9 or 10 wins, the Canucks are going to have to be elite. And the only way they're going to be elite is if, Besser continues what he's doing, but it's Pettersson and Hughes.
Yeah, I mean, those guys are going to have to lead the way. And, Kyle, I don't want to go all cheesy on you, but I do feel like it's a bit of, let's call it Darth Vader versus Luke Skywalker and Han Solo tomorrow, man. Honestly, again, we talked about it earlier this week. Every Dare's no. I do think it's taken some time for Brock Besser and Elias Pettersson to be leaders on their own without a guy like JT Miller there. A guy in JT Miller who was there for all but Pettersson's rookie season and Besser's first 2 seasons. And now these guys are in their mid to late 20s, right? They had JT Miller there, as a long time as that alpha male in the dressing room. And there's an adjustment period, right? And I see JT Miller as, maybe the evil Darth Vader. You thought he was good at first, and then he starts talking smack about his teammates behind closed doors. And now you have Luke Skywalker, aka Elias Pettersson, and Han Solo, aka Brock Besser, going up against Anakin Skywalker tomorrow. So I think it's going to be a hell of a matchup. The Rangers, I see the comment here from, I think it was Chawat here saying, defense wins championships, and he's so glad Miller is gone. Well, the thing about the New York Rangers is that they have been porous defensively this season. They still have some good players on offense. They have one of the best goalies in the world that can mask a lot of your flaws. But this is a team that gives up a lot of chances, and you hope that the Canucks are able to take advantage of that tomorrow. And the way Elias Pettersson and Brock Besser are playing, I wouldn't put it past them.
Dude, me too, Trevor. Again, what I saw yesterday, especially from Brock, and Pettersson made a beautiful play on that goal as well. And, Hughes, again, look at what he did, man. That was ridiculous. Whatever Quinn Hughes did in the middle of the ice there, I forgot about it, considering that I thought we were going to lose that game in regulation. The puck came out of the zone and all this. I blacked out. I thought we lost. And the next thing you know, we scored a goal. I thought Hronek gave it to Hughes, and then Hughes gave it to Pettersson, but Hughes did all the work. Where am I going with this? Oh, yeah. Besser scores bar down. And again, I know we lost the game in overtime, but I feel as if that's exactly what Besser needed. And yeah, he's a team guy. He wants to win first. But, to carry off on your point, I feel like there's a good chance that those two guys, the leaders on the forward group, can carry this momentum. But I think a lot of that can be guaranteed after, I know the Rangers aren't the best team, but after a strong performance against the other leader of the former other leader of the Vancouver Canucks, JT Miller. If something big happens tomorrow, and I'm not talking about a tight game, I'm talking about an offensive explosion, they could carry some of that swagger similar to what St. Louis has. Because right now, St. Louis is looking like they'll never lose again. They're just playing like a dominant team. I think the Canucks, for a 12-game stretch after tomorrow, can do the same thing. And again, that's what they need, Trevor. I'm not convinced that 92 points gets it done. I'm not even convinced 94 gets it done. It might be 95 to 96, considering how good the Blues are right now. And the only way we get there is if Besser and Pettersson continue to do what they do. And I'm looking forward to it. And, there's all this noise about people writing Pettersson off and being a fake fan and whatnot and whatever. Again, I'm not the media. Trevor's not the media. We're just emotional, right? It is what it is. Just keep in mind, Pettersson was invisible for a long time, a pretty historic slump. Okay. And which includes also a playoff run where he did nothing. He did shit. If he does something, if Pettersson's playing the way he's playing right now, we beat the Oilers. Right? And honestly, I feel like this whole season was saved by Ian McIntyre, because Ian McIntyre humbled Elias Pettersson, and that the humility is what Pettersson needed to get past the tendonitis and just focus on the game. All in all, though, I think the hate on Pettersson, the quote unquote hate, was warranted, because dude, you can't be that bad. You can't be that bad. And you can't be having that big of an ego. And again, Ian McIntyre saved the season.
Shout out to Ian McIntyre, and shout out to you and you for listening to Locked On Canucks. Let's cut to break here. And on the other side, I do want to dig deeper into stats for Elias Pettersson and JT Miller since the trade, the schedule ahead for the Canucks and the Blues. I want to talk a little bit about Tom Willander as well. And of course, get to some of your comments. And Kyle, I also want to do a little Beggsy versus Bhawan. About what? Find out on the other side here on Locked On Canucks.
Did you know getting a good night's sleep is the number one recipe for long-term success in life? I didn't. It took me way longer to realize than I'd like to admit. It was years of tossing and turning. I was always tired. I never felt like I could live up to my potential, but not anymore. Thanks to Bear Mattress. I used their sleep quiz and I matched with the Elite Hybrid. It's perfect for side sleepers like me. Now I wake up energized. I'm getting deeper sleeps and I'm ready to attack the day. No matter how you sleep, Bear Mattress has a match for you with a focus on recovery, cooling, and pressure relief to upgrade your sleep and improve your overall quality of life. Go to bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL at checkout for 40% off site-wide. This offer is not available anywhere else. You have to use my promo code on the very last page of checkout to get this discount. That's bearmattress.com and use promo code LOCKEDONNHL for 40% off site-wide. Bearmattress.com, promo code LOCKEDONNHL.
All right. We're back here on Locked On Canucks, your Canucks every damn day. Shout out to Ross Leviton with the ad read, our homie over at Locked On Centers. Tough night for Locked On Centers last night.
We're not doing another ad right here?
Nope.
Oh, okay. Let's just.
Well, you want to do another ad?
Shout out to you and you and you and you. We'll get back to the show. Okay. We actually back this time talking about your Canucks, Trevor Beggs, Kyle Bhawan. That'll just make my audio edit a little bit easier. It is what it is. Okay. I'm a 32-year-old man. I got like 2 hours of sleep last night. Life's got to be easy, and I'm stressed out, Trevor. Like last night, go watch the post-game show. I was optimistic that we got a point. I felt lucky. I felt like that point's going to be a huge difference maker because again, this is going to take up until game 83 to figure all this out, and that point again will be huge. And it came out of nowhere. That being said, I wake up in the morning, I read the group chat, and I'm looking at the standings, and I'm feeling like not pessimistic, but I'm like, how are the Canucks going to do it? How are the Canucks going to go 9-4, 10-3? The schedule, Trevor, like this is scary, man. Like, genuinely speaking, like, put your bias aside. I feel like out of all the three teams that are really competing for that eight spot, and I guess I'm kicking Utah out just for a bit. Like, I think the Canucks just like they got to climb up a effing mountain considering who they're playing and considering that they haven't really gone streaking all season long.
Yeah, and we talked about it heading into the road trip, and everydayers know that the Canucks playing some desperate teams on this trip. And that being said, these are winnable games, right? You know, we talked about the desperate nature of the Rangers, the Islanders, the Blue Jackets. The Rangers have been porous defensively. The Canucks got the Devils on Monday. They're missing Jack Hughes. They just blew a 2-goal third-period lead to the Calgary Flames, the lowest-scoring team in the NHL. Yeah, the Islanders, who are very hit and miss. The Blue Jackets, who have been the third-worst team in the NHL. And the Jets, who the Canucks just beat 6-2. Then they come home and play the Kraken and the Ducks. So, look, the Canucks, their schedule is tougher, right? After those 7 games I mentioned, they got the Knights twice, they got the Stars, they got the Wild, they got the Avalanche. It really does end with a gauntlet in 5 of their last 6 games. But you look at their next 7 here, and there's winnable games in there. There's a lot of winnable games for the Vancouver Canucks, and they need to have that desperation because the Blues have had that desperation. The Flames are now starting to show some of that desperation. The Canucks need to match that desperation heading into the next handful of games here. And yeah, looking at the Blues, their schedule is easier, right? And in 5 of their next 6 games, 6 of their next 8 games, they only play one playoff team. They play them twice, and that's the Colorado Avalanche. They play the Predators twice. They play the Blackhawks. They play the Canadians. They play the Red Wings. They play the Penguins. They do end with the Jets, Oilers, Kraken, and the Utah Hockey Club. So the Blues do have an easy schedule. That being said, I do think they're playing better under Jim Montgomery, but it's tough to play the hockey they're playing while missing Colton Parayko. And I don't think their defense is that good. I just don't think the Canucks did a really good job of exploiting it last night.
I mean, okay, yeah, the Canucks didn't do a good job of exploiting it last night. That's the Canucks, though, man. Like, they don't take a lot of shots. They don't exploit any defenses. Like, it's very, very rare.
Well, they better do it against the Rangers, man, because that's about as cupcake as it gets in terms of defenses this season.
Oh, 100%, bro. No, I feel like they better do it now. Like, Trevor, like, what do you? It's that time right now for the best of the best on this team to carry this team. And I'm thinking about this dinner that they're having, and maybe before JT Miller gets there, like, can they just get together and be like, yo, we got how many games they got left? 13? It's like, 13. Yo, guys, let's not lose another game this season. Let's make a DVD-like moment right now. That's what it's gonna take. It's gonna take that amount of guts and pizzazz. And speaking about the guts, I mean, we saw them do it last night. The puck left the zone. You know what I'm saying? The puck left the zone with like 10 seconds left in the game, and all 3 of their best players made something happen. That's a big sign. To me, that was a moment. And overtime's a crapshoot. And again, the Blues, I think the way you got to look at things sometimes is like the better team always wins. And like the Blues definitely deserve the extra point. But the best of the best, you know, they did the most last night when it was crunch time to salvage something. And that's got to garner some momentum. And I think, again, they can add on to that against the Rangers tomorrow. I'm excited. I'm nervous. I'm pessimistic, but I'm optimistic. I'm all over the place. And I'm just curious to see if these guys do it, man. Again, all the Pettersson noise and the smoke, it's been so traumalicious, but It's go time right now for that guy. Like that guy could erase all the agony he's caused us for the past like 13 or 14 months if he kills it the rest of the way. Like really, really kills it. I'm not talking about like 1.1 points per game. I'm talking go on a run. Go on a 11.6 run. Average 1.6 points per game. You know what I'm saying, Trevor?
Yeah, like I said, it's and there should be optimism that the Canucks can do it right now. I mean, the big thing we talked about it since late last season is the Canucks need to shoot the puck more, and I'm not sure they're going to solve that problem, but at least they have their top guys going. We've got a guy like keep it fluid, who I mentioned prior to the game yesterday. He bumped a slump. He only had 1 goal in his last 17 before scoring yesterday. So, look, the Canucks, again, I just talked schedule. Like, there are winnable games coming up for the Vancouver Canucks, but they got to lock it down and get it done. And, Kyle, the one player we haven't really talked about yet is Thatcher Demko, who is on the trip. He backed up last night. Any chance you think he starts against the New York Rangers here?
I do think so, and I think that's the X factor. We're talking about all these leaders wanting moments and leading this team. I think the only way the Canucks go, 11-2 or 10-3 is if Thatcher Demko somehow, some way, without much of a runway to warm himself up, is back to Vezina form. And we kind of saw him be that guy right before he got hurt again, and they need that. Like, Lankinen needs the break, and Lankinen was really good last night. But I feel as if they have that 1-2 duo with a little bit of rest in between and a little internal competition as well, bro, come on. That's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. That makes the whole, again, 11-2 experience a little easier. I mean, there's a chance that the Canucks allow 2 goals or less per game over the next, handful of games here. This is a team that doesn't shoot the puck a lot as well. We want Pettersson and Boeser to blow up, but I don't expect this team to score 5 or 6 goals a game. But with Philip Hedl out and Connor Garland playing banged up, I expect the best of the best, Hughes, Pettersson, and Boeser to get to 3 at least, get to 4. And again, they're gonna need great goaltending, Vezina-like goaltending, to get them all the way to the top. And that's the wild card here. That really is, Trevor. Trevor, the more I think about it too, man, I'm not trying to make too many excuses, but again, when I woke up this morning, I was gearing myself up for not making the playoffs because I was going into a dark place, and then I was taking a shower, and I'm like, Quinn Hughes missed 13 games this year, or 14, whatever the number is. If that's not the case, we make the playoffs easily. Pettersson missed 500 days. Boeser missed a handful of games with a concussion. Demko was never here. Miller missed 10 games. Like, the fact that we're still here is somewhat of a miracle.
Yeah, it really is. It's been a tumultuous season for the Vancouver Canucks, and thankfully they seem like they're on the verge of getting back the runner-up for the Vezina last season. And here's a quote from Tocchet after practice yesterday. He said, quote, "When he's ready to go, you play him. If he has to be a backup first before he plays, I'm not quite sure about that. But if he's healthy, we've got to stick him in." Nothing like sticking it in, baby. There we go. But yeah, Thatcher Demko, he backed up last night, and it does sound like, based on what Rick Tocchet is saying, if he's healthy enough to back up, he is pretty damn close to playing. So I'm not quite sure if he plays tomorrow, but I do think he plays in one of the Canucks' next 2 games here, whether it's the Rangers on Saturday or the Devils on Monday. All right, Kyle, let's wrap the show on the other side here. Still some news and notes to get to. Willander, I do want to ask you one question. Maybe do a little Beggsy versus Bhawan. We'll get to some comments as well. Got another quote from JT Moore lined up. Oh, baby. We'll try to wrap it up here on Locked On Canucks. Kyle, this ad is for you, baby. We're showing out our friends over at 5 Hour Energy. Did you stay up for all night last night and only get 2 hours of sleep? Has daylight savings snuck up on you again? Are you feeling lost without sleep? Well, guess what? 5 Hour Energy, they have your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. So whether you're staying up late watching the NCAA tournament, oh, my bad, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5 Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up when you need it. And, sometimes watching the Canucks, it's emotionally draining, man. Sometimes I need that 5 Hour Energy just to boost me up and have me punching through the roof when Brock Boeser scores with 3 minutes to go. 3 seconds, bada bang, bada boom. So whatever it is, make sure you head to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. You can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack and have it delivered right to your door. Need one now? Grab 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store. They're everywhere. Stock up today and stay energized.
People, we back doing this, and that's talking about your Vancouver Canucks, okay? Playing the Rangers tomorrow. JT Miller versus Pettersson. Who wins in a scrap? My money's on Pettersson. Wow, that's a surprise. Why are you laughing, Trevor? I thought you had the West Coast bias, okay?
I do, man. Yeah, EP40
bias.
all the way.
EP40 all the way, man. It is what it is, and dude, I'm excited for these guys to take a face-off against each other. It's gonna get rowdy. Like JT Miller hates losing, and the Rangers are desperate for a win. It's gonna get a little aggressive tomorrow, and I think the Canucks are gonna do a good job managing that. And something tells me like tomorrow's there's gonna be an early morning offensive explosion. Okay, a bit of a wet dream, a bit of a explosion, just busting it all over the place, man. Tomorrow's a moment. I cannot wait for it, and I can't read a couple of these comments because it's an emotional time here on Locked On Canucks. Oh man, Rafe saying the Canucks just got to turn up. Turn up for what? For a chance to dance, man. April, bro. Trevor, I don't want to not cover a couple playoff games. And I'm not talking as a podcaster. I'm talking as a fan. Like, I just want to chill with you, put the TV on, order some pizza, drink a couple of beers, and celebrate a goal or two. Like, I need that. I don't want to have that last year and disappear this year. And Trevor, bro, we keep bringing this up all week. I can't believe we barely get to experience this. And that's a last minute playoff push. And that's what we're getting today. And as much as, again, I'm looking forward to it, I know I'm going to be a nervous wreck over the next couple of weeks. It really hit me this morning.
Yeah, and again, we've talked about it. It's an unfamiliar territory for Canucks fans. And Kyle, it leads me to a question that I want to ask you, brother. Okay, Kyle, why don't you answer me this, okay? And a little segment we call Beggsy versus Bhawan. So I think we're going to have different answers here. Who is the Canucks' most important player in their push here to make it into the playoffs?
Do you want me to give not an answer that's like Pettersson or Besser?
No, you can give whatever the hell answer you want.
Okay, great. I'm gonna say Quinn Hughes. No, real talk. You know, we spend a lot of energy, and especially over the last couple of weeks, talking about how we need Besser and Pettersson to wake up. And Besser again was so bad after the Four Nations tournament. Should have been traded. Could have been traded. What now? We're lucky to have it. So much energy. So much toxic energy being spewed over, again, those two individuals all season long, and now they're showing up. And no, let's have them continue to do it, and we'll make the playoffs. No, if Quinn Hughes ups his game somehow, some way, which I think is possible because he had a write-off game last night. I think, Quinn's I feel like Quinn bounces back after bad performances pretty well, So again, we got the bad one out of the way, and again, that bad one also featured just an miraculous play. What's 8 seconds left in the game? I can't believe he pulled off those moves as a defenseman in tight coverage, after being banged up all game. All that being said, I think if Quinn Hughes, again, rallies up the boys and tells them yo, we're not losing another fucking game. Take some notes, Trevor, this season. Then it can get done. Just even to put it to this point, we may see a historic run for Quinn Hughes over the next 13 games that puts him back in the Hart consideration. That's what it's going to take.
Yeah, I think whether it's Quinn Hughes or someone else, someone on the Canucks is going to have to go on a run. And, I think Quinn Hughes is the easy answer for who's the most important player down the stretch, but I really think it's Elias Pettersson. And for the simple reason that, you're going to get an 8 effort from Quinn Hughes every night, whether he's healthy or not. Elias Pettersson is a bit more up and down, but over his last 6 games, he has 9 points in his last 6 games. We're seeing a version of Elias Pettersson that can take this team into the playoffs. I mean, with Quinn Hughes, sure, he can play lights out, but if Elias Pettersson isn't going, this team is not making it into the playoffs. So for that reason, I do think Elias Pettersson is the most important player for the Vancouver Canucks down the stretch here. He's got to keep showing flashes. And Kyle, you talked about the sick moves that Quinn Hughes made in the neutral zone last night. Pettersson also made a pretty sublime play to stay on side, shoot the puck across the ice through everybody, and give it to Brock Besser to set him up for that goal. The Canucks need more plays like that from EP40. And look, overtime wasn't perfect for him either. He was part of the reason why the Blues went up the ice and scored the game-winning goal there. So, we do need to see peak Pettersson here. And I think if Pettersson is at his apex, the Canucks probably win that game last night. And they're going to need Elias Pettersson, the most important player on this team, if they are going to make the playoffs here.
Yeah, and just to even circle back on that overtime, I know a lot of fingers were being pointed at, like whether it be Hughes, Best, or Pettersson. Like it was just a garbage overtime. But just remember, the Blues they were on it. They were on it the whole game, and like that's why to me, I definitely feel like the Canucks have to get to 10 wins because the fact that the Blues and overtime's a crapshoot. It's a fun time. There's so much room on the ice. Maybe it's easier to just take initiative, even if you just got scored on a couple seconds ago and could have had a win, but now you got to play more hockey. All that being said, dude, I was impressed with the Blues. Like the fact that even when Besser scored to make it 2-1, they just bounced back right away. Then the overtime thing happens and they dominate in overtime. Like that's a scary team. I don't see that team slowing down. They proved it there too. And then Broberg gets the goal too. Like yo, it's this is gonna be a dogfight, man. It's gonna be a dogfight, and even though I can't wait for it to end, because I think it's gonna, lead us to the playoffs, I'm just so stressed out, man. Like, oh crap, I'm so stressed out. Oh man, crazy, man. Let's get to the comments, man. This one comes from Ripped Puzzy. What? Do you even make 5 cents with less than 30 people here? Doesn't seem like you're growing like at all. Dude, we don't care if there's one person watching, or 5 people watching, or 30 people watching. We just need Matt Folger and company here, man. Like, why do people pocket watch, man? It's all good. It's all good, man. We live in the dream. We smiling, bro. Comparison is a thief of puck and joy, man. Y'all, you need to go for a walk and breathe, man. It's crazy how like the internet has people like this who like talk all that shit and they have like an R to tell like as their DP. So the only reason I'm bringing that comment up is because we're getting towards the end of the season, and I just want to let everyone know, like, dude, again, life is very blissful. Like, I'm just very grateful that I get to communicate with Trevor every day too, because life gets busy and you don't get to always talk to your friends, and now we have this excuse to like touch base all the time. So, when you hear me, agonize over the Canucks not potentially making the playoffs, like, dude, I just want to continue talking about games and doing all this stuff to get closer to each and every one of you, but also just Trevor Beggs in general. So I'm just blessed, and bro, like dude, my grandma always told me, man, back in 2004, never worry about your YouTube views. And I can't. What? Why are you laughing?
Was YouTube still out in 2004?
Bro, my grandma could see the future, right? It's a Findu thing. Deepak Chopra.
That's sick.
One love to you, Trevor. One love to everyone watching, and hit the like button. It really helps out the show a lot. Subscribe if you're a returning viewer. Again, it all helps us out. We want to go to Cactus Club every now and then, and yeah, this helps.
Or go to the game, brother. Although after the game we went to against the Utah Hockey Club, maybe we should not go to games anymore. Let's get a couple quick comments before we get out of here. Update on Tom Melander. Smirky Mixer saying, any word on Tom Melander joining the Canucks? BU got knocked out. No, they've still clinched their spot in the NCAA tournament. I know it's a bit of a confusing tournament, but they will be playing games March 28th through March 30th. So I believe it's, again, I could be a little wrong in the dates there, but it won't be until the end of March at the earliest. It might even be March 27th that Tom Melander could be available to the Vancouver Canucks. And let's end with the positivity, man. Lane Stanley saying, we're going to smoke the Rangers tomorrow 4-1. JT Miller put that in your pipe and smoke it, buddy. Whatever you put in your pipe, we don't care, man. We just appreciate you for tuning into Locked On Canucks.
Thank you.
Shout out to you and you, whether you're an everydayer, an occasional listener, a first-time listener, a new subscriber, or you joined us here on the live show on YouTube. We love each and every one of you. Go Canucks, go. If you like what we're doing, go subscribe and like on YouTube. On the podcast side, oh, baby, help change a life. Follow us and leave a 5-star review. Kyle, we'll see if we can do a postcast tomorrow. I don't know if you'll be up for that one, man. I heard you sleep till 2 p.m. Have the 5-hour energy. We'll catch you next time here on Locked On Canucks.
Peace out. One love.